Hi guys, Andy Henderson live from Forward Thinking. Guys, question for you. Why is it that your employees just don't get it? Why do they not just get what you do as an organisation? Why don't they just believe in what you believe? Why don't they share that passion for where you want to go in your business? So today, Sherpa Guidance episode 22 or 23 I think it is. It's bonkers how quickly these crack on and get produced, and so much content for you to consume. But today's all about like teams and boards and employee engagement and stuff, and how, why is it that we employ people and we have to tell them what to do all the time, and our existing employees, we have to tell them what to do. They just don't get it. They turn up for work at 9 o'clock, they go at 5, they work the bare minimum, sometimes, not all employees, but employees in organisations that you might run, you might own, you might be a board director of, they just don't seem to get it like you do. Why is that? And I'm going to address that today. So we talked on Monday, about sort of engagement, about creating a compelling vision of the future, about, really creating belief. And when you create belief in that organisation, it leads to high performance. So we're going to address that today. So guys, I'm Andy Henderson, your Sherpa Guide. I'm on a mission to impact the lives of 25,000 business owners, in Lancashire, nationwide and internationally. I've started my first international group recently, absolutely brilliant, from Albania, from China, from Australia, from the UK, some great people in the group, and we're going places. It feels really good to create that sense of purpose, create that sense of growth, belief, and I've got that compelling vision of the future, and it makes a difference. But it's not about me, it's about us, it's about you guys, it's about me helping you sort of with these lives and the knowledge and understanding that I've got about business and what I've done and what's worked and what's not, because we've all learnt lessons, we've all made massive mistakes, loads of massive mistakes. But would I turn the clock back? No. Valuable source of learning and growing. So yeah, I'm on the mission, big mission, and I want to impact the lives of lots and lots of people, and creating a movement, the forward thinking movement. And it's really excited for you to all get involved in that and share our journeys together, because we're in this together. We're all business owners, we're all business leaders, and if we share our value, if we share our tips and our tricks and our hacks and our strategies, and even our thoughts, it can help other people. So that's what I'm aiming to do today with you all, and hopefully you'll get some benefit. So why is it that your employees just don't get it? You're working all the time, are really passionate about what you do, but sometimes your employees don't. They're not really interested. They just turn up, do their job, go home, and that's about it. But how do we get those ones that really can be motivated and inspired? How do we get them moving forwards? So we're going to start off by just sharing a couple of bits. I'm going to tell you a little bit about me, bit about my background really quickly. So I'm Andy Henderson, and this is why we're here today. Just thinking about, is your board or your team functional or dysfunctional? Are you working right at the top end? The second thing, why, when we hire good people, do we then have to tell them what to do? Why don't they just get it? And the third thing is, you might know your big picture as an owner, as a business leader, as a director of a business, but does your team? And does it matter? Well, let me tell you, it does matter, and we're going to dig into that in a minute. So I'm Andy Henderson. Look, this is me, board member of a couple of businesses, trustee of 6 charities. I'm really keen on giving back. I've got some education, both, sort of degree level education, background in tech services. And one of the businesses that I ran was really transformed, and we did some amazing things. But like I said today, it's not all about me, it's about you. And sometimes we get that feeling that running a business, it's like climbing a mountain. You know this now. It's you get halfway up, you feel a bit sick and a bit tired and a bit out of breath, but something has to compel us to get to the top. Something is like a magnet attracting us and driving us through that pain barrier, and working with us and pulling us forward to achieve the things that we want to achieve in our life. And that's why I've called the Sherpa Guide, because I understand the route, I understand the safest route, I've got experience of the terrain, I understand some of the risks, I know what preparations to make, I understand how we're going to get there together, and I'm going to support you on your journey. And hopefully I'm going to inspire, motivate and lead you and guide you up to the top of your mountain as well. So back to why we're here today. Board dysfunctional, functional, is it on the same page, is it going in the same direction? Why, when we hire good people, do we have to tell them what to do all the time? They need everything. All the problems land on our desk. They won't make decisions. Very often they turn up at 9 o'clock, go at 5, and you're just like, oh my God, why don't they get it? Why don't they just put that extra effort in that I know they're capable of? And you might know your big picture of it as an owner. You might know where you want to go. Your board, you might be a board member. You might know where you want to go. But does everyone at the board level? Does everyone in your business? Does all the employees know where you're going? Well, let's do a quick test. How many of you in your business, and please hit me up in the comments. Let me know what's going on. Give me a flavour of what's going on in your world, and let me see if I can help you. But typically, when we don't know where we're going, when we've got employees that are just doing the 9 to 5 thing and they just don't get it like you do, these are the problems and pains that manifest. So flatlining or negative growth, that's a real no. We want to feel like we're making progress, building a business that's going to impact others, change the lives of our customers and really help solve the pains and the problems. You very often, again, at board level as a business owner, you're thinking, is it me? Am I at fault? Is it, what's wrong with me? Is it me? Have I got the problem here? Is that why they just don't get it? Is it them? So then you start thinking, is it all these people? Is it them that don't get it? Do we have a blame culture? Do we have no clarity and we feel like we're swimming in custard all the time? Is it frustrating because no one gets it? I bet it is. Frustrating. I've been there, don't forget. I know it's frustrating. It's tiring. It's lonely in that boardroom when you're on your own and, you just don't feel people are in the same boat, people on the same journey, people are not working together, it leads to mistakes, sickness and absence, stress. You just can't see the wood for the trees, but maybe your people can't either. So what do we do about that? Well, let me ask you a question. What's this on screen now? What is that you can see? It's a grey square. Yes, I know it's a grey square, but what is it? What could it be, that grey square? What is it? Maybe we stood too far away and we can't see it. Maybe we stood too close to it and we can't see what's there. So any guesses? Hit me up in the comments. Any guesses to what this is? Because I'm going to tell you in a second. What is this that you can see on screen? Well, let me tell you. It's an elephant, of course. It's an elephant. But why didn't we know that? Why didn't we know that? Why didn't we see that originally? It's because we stood too close to it. And you can imagine if your employees are too close to their role, too close to the job that they're doing, they don't see the bigger picture. They're gonna come up with all sorts of guesses as to what that grey square is, because that's all they can see in front of their face. That's all they see. They just see a grey square, and this is what happens exactly that you see on screen. You know it's an elephant because it's your vision, but everyone else who's working in the business has no idea unless you explain it to them. So to one guy at the top of the elephant, he thinks it's a fan because the ears are flapping. He's looking at it and he's thinking that's a fan because it's blowing air at me. A guy that's looking straight at it head on the side, he thinks it's a wall. The guy at the back with the tail, he thinks it's a rope because he can't see the bigger picture. The guy at the bottom, it's a tree because all he can see is the trunk and stuff. The guy holding onto the actual trunk, he thinks that's a snake. And the guy looking at the tusk can't see anything else. All he can see, the fact is it's a spear because he can't see that bigger picture. So that's of critical importance. People need to see the bigger picture. They need to understand what's in your head. You need to communicate. You need to be transparent. You need to paint a picture of where you want the business to be in the future and how you want people to become in the future in order to deliver that vision and what their part is that they play in your business to help the business achieve that compelling vision of the future. It's so important. And then we've got to communicate with them on the journey. We've got to communicate and let them understand and help them understand what is their role in the business, from a cleaner to a warehouse guy to a sales guy to a manager to a director to a accounts person. Everybody needs to understand what the part is they play in the progress towards that compelling vision of the future. They've got a job description, but that's just a transaction. If they do this job description satisfactorily, you agree to pay them X amount of pounds per month. So if you're working on that basis, then how do you expect anything other than just barely satisfactory work? We've got to create belief. In order to create belief, we've got to create a compelling vision of the future to believe in that has a positive impact for the board, for the people, for the customers, for the future employees, for the shareholders maybe, whatever. We've got to create that compelling vision of the future. We've got to create belief, and then we've got to communicate. It's the biggest thing we've got to do. I used to stand up and communicate every single month to my business back in the IT days. I can't do it now because there's only a handful of people, but we do communicate regularly. But I stood up and I talked to them about the sales, the profits, every open book policy. I even presented to them the stuff that we were going to talk about in board meetings before the board meeting, just to get a sense check, a temperature check of how everyone felt about what we were discussing, the ideas that we're bringing to the table. So it's super, super important. So how do you create that? Well, this, I'm going to tell you exactly how to create it in a second, but one of the biggest problems, if we don't have a compelling vision of the future, we don't have that really clear idea of where we're trying to get to. We end up spending time, energy, and money going in all these different directions. Is my destination over here? Is it here? Is the top of the mountain here? I don't know. Is it here? And you keep travelling down all these different routes to try and find that way that's going to get you to where you're going. And if your employees are all doing the same thing, you might have 50 employees in your business, you might have 10, you might have 500. If they're all doing the same thing, if they're all trying to navigate themselves to where they think the journey is, where they think the destination is, where they think the compelling vision of the future is going, then you're going to waste a lot of time, effort and money to get there. Why should we do that? Well, we shouldn't. That's the point. That's a bloody point. We shouldn't do that. We've got to, if we create that compelling vision of the future, we start at the end and work backwards from there, it becomes a lot easier. And when you laser guard that time, energy and money in a singular direction to one destination, and you communicate that to the people, you get that feeling of purpose, you get that feeling of belief. People want to help you get to that point in the journey. They want to help you achieve that compelling vision of the future. And if everyone feels connected to that and they understand the part they play, then that leads to something amazing. That's called fulfillment. And that creates that feeling that you're all on one boat together, rowing with power, synchronicity, all that amazing stuff. You feel like you've got that inner momentum. And you can sit back in your business and you can look at what's going on. The business is working. It's working without you because people believe, they understand where it's going. They understand what they need to do to get there. Individually, teams, departments, boards. It brings everything together. So it brings the board together. It brings the people together. You don't have to tell people what to do. They just instinctively know, because if they have a decision to make, one of the options is going to lead them to the path of the compelling vision. The other decision is going to lead them off path. So it creates that almost like a barometer of decision making where they can go, yeah, I can make this decision myself because answer A is going to get me there. Answer B is not, so I'll choose answer A because it's going to take us forward to where we want to be. So it's really, really straightforward. People overcomplicate all this stuff, and I don't understand why. And believe me, I've implemented this in a business, and we grew from 12 to 24 million in 3 years' time with 20% less people doing that. And it was a phenomenal journey. There was still problems, but they were surmountable because we had this momentum and we just dealt with them, because everyone was going in the same direction. So it's really, really good. So what's the answer? Well, obviously I'm going to say Success GPS because it works, because this is one of the outcomes. And Success GPS, 6-step program to really grow and build that compelling vision of the future and start making progress towards it. And again, it's all based on the destiny map. You understand what the destiny map is. I talk about it all the time. But that compelling vision of the future is what your life and your business is going to be like at the top of your mountain. We need to define that and share that experience with the group. Get them all to play a part in defining, crafting that compelling vision, so everyone feels part of it. Then we go through the process. Where are we right now? Before we can move forwards, we need to understand where we are. It's pointless jumping in a car with this broken sat-nav that's just taking you to a destination, but it doesn't know where you are. What's holding you back? What are your numbers? What are your opportunities to grow? So think about those things. We need that start point. We need to create that compelling vision of the future, the destination. We need to understand what success looks like for us and our business and how our business needs to perform to give us that success. Then we need to break that down into chunks, into goals, 10-year goals, 3-year, 2-year, 1 year, bang. So we've got them marker posts, we've got them base camps that we can work towards and achieve and celebrate success along the way. And when we've gone through the whole process, this is the kind of transformation you and your team members and your board and everyone in the business, everyone who's frustrated and feels lonely, a bit paralysed and stressed and gets distracted and stuff, and they're wasting energy and the revenues aren't growing, profits aren't growing, and all that sort of stuff. When you go through this kind of exercise and you create this journey for your people that you can share with them, then you start to experience a transformation with everyone laser focused. Everyone's working together. You've got momentum. It's enjoyable. It's a powerful feeling. You start growing as people, but you start growing as a business. More revenue, more profit, more dream customers that really love what you do. And there's an excitement about it and a real can-do attitude. It's absolutely phenomenal. And here's some people who've experienced the success. This is Claire from PAC, a charity over in Nelson. We spent a great few days with PAC, really great charity, helping young people with domestic violence, domestic abuse, drug and alcohol dependency, mindset stuff and mental health matters and homelessness and, brilliant. And we did the work, absolutely phenomenal result. And they've got this compelling vision of the future. I've also, worked with Gordy Smith, young accountant, building a business. He's had some great results from going through the program. He feels so focused on where he's going, sharing that with his team. He's building a business around that compelling vision of the future. And again, Mark McLaughlin, Keyfleet, another great forward thinker. Again, same thing. We created that compelling vision of the future. Now it's acting as a magnet to bring his business, his customers, his employees along on that ride. Absolutely phenomenal stuff. So guys, that's it. That's how you create that compelling vision of the future, and it helps you engage with your team. It helps you bring everyone together, and you don't need to you keep telling everyone to do. Everyone sort of gets it because it's in here. That journey, that thing about being part of something bigger than themselves. It's a phenomenal feeling, and they'll respond to it. They'll love it. They'll believe in it. And there's some people who won't believe, but they're very easily identifiable. And if you can't get them to believe, if they won't believe in the journey, then the ones that you might need to replace at some point in time, because they might not be along the ride for that journey. So, I can help with this stuff. It's what I do. It's the only thing I do. I just focus on helping businesses create that journey and implement that journey into the business. So everyone plays a part in it. Everyone feels connected. We create belief and ultimately high performance to focus that time, energy, effort and money in that one direction. So it's fantastic. So if you want some help implementing this stuff in your business, just jump on a call with me. I know some of you might think asking for help is a sign of weakness. It's not. What you want to do is reach out and ask someone for a bit of knowledge, someone who's trodden that path before, someone who's not just thought of this stuff, but implemented it into a business and achieved success as a result. So I'm available for you. I've got no time left this week. I'm absolutely chock-a-block. I'm going to the Lake District this weekend, but I've got a couple of slots next week, and I've got 5 or 6 or 7 slots the week after. So you've got the link there. I'll put it in the comments. Just hit me up. Let's just have a chat, and I'm going to help you understand where you are, where you really want to be in the future, how your business needs to perform to get there, and how we're going to create that journey for you, how we're going to create that pathway, that journey towards that successful future of yours. So guys, I'm Andy Henderson. I am your Sherpa Guide. I am on a mission to impact the lives of 25,000 business owners in the next 10 years, and it feels good. So Sherpa Guide over and out. It's episode Sherpa Guidance episode 22 or 23, I think. I keep getting mixed up because we're doing so many. And just remember, guys, you're only ever just one step away